So, what are we going to do? What is here to investigate or to clarify? To check for yourself, to mirror. Just go in and check. Is there something you would like to bring on? For yourself, of course, for your own freedom. If there is anything like that, just don't be afraid and bring it. What is bringing us for this kind of meeting is just for sake of love, of satsang, and just your own love and your own happiness, or there is something else also, just some kind of discomfort inside which doesn't give you a full rest. Maybe some doubt or some lack of clarity for yourself. Long time in satsang? Long time in satsang?
I have experiences in satsang in many different shapes. And my first was 30 years ago. The last days, there was a question in me. I heard that I shall leave the shoes outside and the mind outside when I come to satsang, and ask me, shall I take the mind back when I go outside of the satsang?
And?
I don't know, I'm just asking this. Is it necessary to take it back, the mind, when I go outside, when I leave in 2 hours, I leave the satsang, and what will happen?
I didn't get exactly the question which you are having. Is it necessary to take?
Shall I take it back, the mind? I leave the mind outside when I come to satsang, the shoes and the mind, and
yeah, but this is the example which Guruji gives, like, so leaves the mind behind and come empty.
Yes.
This is just an exercise, no?
Yeah.
This is the exercise which shows us that we are capable, that there is really, we are capable to leave the mind aside. And at the satsang we can experience it. Okay, so I had so many questions, I was so nervous before, let's say, or so hesitating before, and now I'm sitting here in the room and all is well. For instance. So what can we do with this? First, we learn here, okay, it's quite easy to leave this mind. You see, you notice it's possible you experience this over many years probably. But to say that satsang and leaving the mind happens only here during this kind of meetings, it's not the truth actually. No? It's not the truth. It's like we are honoring the truth here. I mean, we are all looking in the same direction and from the same direction. But does it mean that the satsang is only now? Or just that we are capable to leave the mind aside only during these 2 hours? It only shows us, look how easy is this. Just look. And we look for that to use it later also. It's not so we know only. Because remembering that we can leave mind aside, it's not enough. It's not enough. It might be quite challenging also. So then we slowly experience this also after coming out of this room. So here is a learning ground for us. Look, you didn't die. Look, you are not the body. Look, it's not so difficult. There is nothing scary here. Everything is all right. And then we go out and the world is more visible, no? Because we have the meetings with people, they force us to talk, they force us to having relationships. So there is more objects which are relating to the consciousness. And seemingly it looks more challenging. But then we use this example here. Okay, am I capable to leave the mind aside in such a circumstances? Sometimes maybe we don't. Sometimes maybe it's too difficult because of the situation. Yes. But the more we see that we are able to do it, the stronger we are. The stronger we are. And one thing will be met, and we see, okay, I'm able to stay detached from my thought, for instance. I'm able to do it. And this is done. But life shows you this is not the end. So check out the feelings, emotions. No, actually, no, I still feel it. But slowly and gradually see, okay, I'm also able to leave it aside while it is happening. I can be in distance while the emotion is also happening. But if we will not use it, what's being told here, if we will be lazy with this, we'll be experiencing suffering. We will be experiencing more or less suffering. So, but what is this effort which we do here? This is something very important. Because it seems like, oh my God, you really give me another teaching or another method to calm down. No. The teaching here is only, okay, stay undisturbed. Let the things happen, but you stay as you are.
Stay in the here and now.
Stay in the here and now. But something inside really doesn't want to do it, and especially outside of the room. Please just give me a break. But the more we do it, the more we stay tuned, the stronger we will become. And then we slowly see, okay, I thought this will kill me, or this will make me so emotional. No, it's actually fine. The other thing, I survived it. The other thing, I also survived it. So then we discover that inside there is such a tremendous strength which nothing can touch.
The trust in existence can grow.
But it doesn't grow when we are waiting for something to save us, for instance.
Yes.
it doesn't grow. And when we are waiting for somebody to do something for us, or we are postponing self-inquiry, or we are just, slipping in here, like here and there, like. I know it because I experience this also myself, and I see it in many people. It's like the way of avoidance. And then when we say, okay, when I step out of this room, the consciousness is exactly the same. Consciousness didn't move, just the body moved. Just the mind also was in different circumstances. So it's normal that here, when we have this luxury of sitting together, and we are not demanded to talk or to react all the time, we can just be. It's a luxury, we can say. But then, in this luxury, let's bring it outside. So at the beginning, we put some guns because we are afraid that something can hurt us. And then we see, okay, it's okay. There is nothing dangerous. Still, awareness is here. I was never left. So it's like a learning ground, we can say, these meetings, learning ground. And the more tests is probably in the relationships, let's say, or in the work, in the family. It's a mirror for us to see what still triggers us, what still triggers the mind, preferences, or avoidance. Yeah, and it's if you ask that, is it possible to not to take the mind? Just the mind can be here, it's fine, but the attitude, you can somehow put attention to the attitude. The attitude is, okay, the mind can be here, but I'm not the mind. The mind, it can whisper. It can whisper sometimes very silently, sometimes loud. Because it had to, probably, because of the experience it had in the past. So it's just like a habit, So it's not a problem. These cars outside, they are not disturbing us, no? So sooner or later, this mind will be, it will be talking sometimes, it won't be such a big deal. And satsang is very much also about the honesty with yourself. Honesty meaning that if something is running the show, but you don't want to confront with that, you are courageous and just you bring it on for the sake of freedom. Your inner inner freedom. Can you say louder?
Yes. So let's go something. It feels like, during inquiry or invitation or anything like that, it feels like almost like this room of like spaciousness is perceived, but there is a very strong belief that I'm the one who is not going to happen for, and it's kind of seen, but it's something which wouldn't. It feels like it stands exactly at the door of when I start receiving it. It's kind of, but it's not going to happen, and it's seen, but still there is identification with the one who is not going to happen for. And it's kind of a struggle, which I can also observe, but it's some sort of something is in there which maybe I cannot see yet. I don't know.
Okay, can you sit maybe a bit closer because I hardly hear you and hardly see you. Yeah, in a way you are right. In a way you are right. It won't happen to you. It won't happen to you. It won't happen to the one who can stay at the edge. It cannot happen to the one who is on the way. It cannot happen to the one who is close. It cannot happen even to the one who is almost there. Because it doesn't happen to anyone. It just happens. You are not the one. This one who can get that. The knowing is already there. The knowing is already there. You are that already. But it will be only like that the body-mind will also get that at some point. But it's not that you are this one who got that. If we were the one who got that, let's imagine this. Okay, I finally understood everything and I got enlightened and I started feeling amazing peace. I started feeling amazing bliss and happiness. Can I really trust this? It is a happening still. And this is outcome of liberation also. But again, this is here. But what is the most important is who are you at that point?
I mean, when I say get it, I mean that it's not received in a way. It's somehow still blurry. I don't know if I can say it blurry, And I'm wondering whether the thought I'm getting there or like it feels close, maybe it's some sort of trick, which
Of course. Of course it's a trick. It's also enlightenment. The idea of enlightenment is also a trick of the mind. It's a great trick, and mind has imagination with this trick. So first, I don't know when in your life you heard this term enlightenment, awakening. Somehow we heard this word. And this word is like amazing, because it's really amazing to get there. Not everybody gets there, but they promise eternal happiness there. So it must be something great. So, but this is still something what mind understands about enlightenment. And mind has already imagination of that. It already has a setup around that. The more books you read, the bigger setup is. But this term, what does it mean, this term? It's knowing of yourself. It's knowing your essence. But if the one is getting enlightened, it's having a awakening, a big shift of awakening. Can I really trust this shift as a thing itself? This shift will be less important than the one who was witnessing this. So again, even in this such a powerful event, our attention still goes into the event. Now attention still goes into the bliss, it goes into the peace, it goes into something. But this is outcome. This is outcome of knowing that you are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the witness of all. And this knowing, this internal glimpse, it causes this bliss or peace or happiness. So we have to be really, really alert to check this, because very often mind is tricking us. Okay, you got enlightened. You are enlightened. Look at yourself. Fantastic. Or you are not enlightened. It's the same, It's the same trick. So you are there that present, that alert to notice this notion. Oh, you will never get it. Is it true? Who is listening to this thought? You are at the edge, you will not get it. Who is listening to this thought? Or you got that, you've done that. Who is listening to this thought? So it's always to staying in this prayer, in this the most important thing, but not the interpretation of the mind. So the word water, if I write it, it's not wet, no? So the same, our imagination of enlightenment, our all imagination of enlightenment, it's not enlightenment itself. It's just an image the mind has about it. So now this image mind has about it. What's important? Leave this image. Any image. Because it's just an obstacle. It's just something which covers the reality. It covers the reality which is naked, as it is.
I guess there is attachment to one experience or a number of them which happened already during maybe invitation. So it's like sort of expectation, okay, it should be like this, and if it's not like this, then it's not happening then.
Yeah, okay, so life showed you at the beginning, look, while you go there, something amazing happens, you feel great. Because, it's a perfume of your being, yes. But don't the perfume for yourself. And then you have a bad state. And the mind straight away has a reason to blame you. Or say, bad. So, if we have good here, and if we have bad here, it still happens in here in the world. But for us, it's to step out of both of it. And to see something which nothing describes. Because all descriptions happens inside of it. So it's maturing. First you have this nice gifts, let's say, nice gifts of inquiry, but then face this most difficult one and see that they are all the same. So it's not for us to get something here. It's not for the I to have something from that. It's just to be free. It's really about freedom, not about any particular state. If we will stay on the level of particular state, we are still in prison. What if this state will change? And I have to I have to multiply the state to feel good. But who is doing it? Who am I? So it's over and over, like instead of watching here, just for whom it is happening. You cannot get that, but who cannot get that? Who am I?
It just seems like as soon as the question is asked, like who is this one? It comes with like lots of noise, you know. And at some point, sometimes the noise becomes so loud that it seems impossible to see who the one is not.
I can imagine. Yes, and explain me this noise. Like, so okay, this noise started happening, and like what form it takes.
It's sort of like it's sometimes maybe not only thoughts, but on the bodily level, because thoughts are easy.
It's like discomfort. You would like to run. Yes.
Something is I don't know what, but it's like I cannot. You know, it's something believing it's something going on, and it's,
yeah, but look how big wisdom is in there, you know. There is wisdom in there, and we are mature now to check and investigate this kind of discomfort, because maybe this discomfort is actually a vehicle to something very important. Because what we usually do in our life, there is straight away thought, okay, something is wrong here, I go out. She's sitting here, I don't get that. Something is wrong here, I go out. But in satsang, actually, it's quite opposite. There is discomfort, something wants to escape that. Probably there is the reason for that. So there is this dedication to stay. Something triggers me here. Okay, let's stay with that. So, for instance, I experienced this in my sangha with whom I share the satsang. Like whenever they have something towards me, like trigger points with me, I say inside, very good. I think like really good, really great. But they don't feel it. They go out because there is some discomfort. But if we are mature, staying with this, it shows us where we put the boundary, where we put ourselves the separation. And when we are open, and when we notice while this separation happens, we can catch the mind and we can see, my goodness, I'm not this mind. I don't want to separate this. I don't want to escape anymore. I'm committed to the truth, not to my comfort. So when you be feeling this thoughts of you're not good, oh this is not right, or let's finish this because it's really annoying and I'm impatient or I'm tired with this invitation or something, well just stay a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, because sometimes this little more makes a huge difference. Otherwise, it will be like with our mind, you know? So let's say we are having a thought. And this thought is seen. So if we are not alert and if we are not in tune with ourselves, while this thought is happening, we can slip in with it and just straight away run somewhere. It's the same. But what and after this thought, what's gonna happen? It will be emotion inside. It will be like a big discomfort. But if we stay with it, the thought comes saying, this is boring. This is really boring stuff. Oh, this is mental stuff. Or I really don't like it, I feel discomfort. So the ego straight away is gone, because it doesn't want to experience this. But you can stay a little bit longer. Let's see. This is the way to overcome. This is the way to win the mind.
I ask myself, who is the patient one, staying longer?
I don't know if it's a one.
No?
I check if it's a one. It's a one level, it's the one who is staying. But you are watching this, no? You will, it doesn't matter if you go out also, because you will be watching yourself going out. I'm not talking to the one here who is doing anything. I'm not talking to the one who is patient or impatient, who can do something. I'm just evoking words to wake us up to this underneath reality, which is always witnessing everything. Seemingly, we are talking to one another. Seemingly. And I sound like a woman or like a person or whatever, and you may also sound like this, but something else is communicating here, and this something else is much more important than the feeling it causes in you, and feeling it causes in me, your interpretation, my interpretation. It's less important. But to hear this underneath reality, something needs to stop. Because otherwise we were running after the image on the screen non-stop. In the search of happiness. Which is already here. And that's why the clarity of and understanding is like this first most important thing. This jnana moment is so important. And this jnana moment is really to understand and to see with no shadow of the doubt that you are not a thing. That you cannot be a thing. That you cannot be a thing. It's just not possible. That you cannot be something which comes and goes. And while this is grasped and swallowed inside, whenever this mind attacks comes about how is it going, you will not understand from your core that this is just a commentary, or this is just a desire, or this is just a want, something like that. This is just an object, but you are prior to the object. But also this object is a part of yourself. Meaning it's also made of awareness, because it's not separate from it. None of the object can be separate from awareness. Or can it be? Can you give me an example of something which is separate? or which is not made of awareness. Can we find such an example? So where can we go to find ourselves? Where else can we go? Where we can find more of ourselves? Where is more of ourselves? It's already here. And it was always here. And it is now, and nothing more has to be done.
It's like it feels that any chasing to catch anything outside is absurd, but it happens so much. It just happens so much.
Yes, and it might be like that for a while. Don't worry. It's like, the mind is like a spider which is just constantly doing his net, constantly. Something realizes, yes, I'm already here, I'm already that, I'm already this, and the mind non-stop, but this will be less. It will be less, so don't worry with this. Don't worry. I'm not saying that it will be less, oh my god, so it should be better soon. We don't know. It's fine even with this mind. It's fine. But never take the object for yourself on. Because then you are immortal. You are immortal. You are not born and you are not dying. And this stopped being a concept is just a natural knowing. So how to survive this? How to survive this mind? Is always going back to yourself. Who am I? Just this question and not to say the mind is bad or anything, because it's fine. Just to remember. And stay like, little longer. Like little longer, like you, no? A little more. Something's a little bit longer. Because it's a big difference when we survive this attack, as I said before, then we will see, oh my god, this mind, it's nothing. It's really nothing. It seems so real, but it lasts a while and disappears. And seems so real. But where is our problem from yesterday? Do we have all our problems from yesterday today? All of them? All? Some of them probably are not here right now. Maybe some are, but some are not. So are they real? Sometimes it seems to not right not to have a problem. Not right.
There's also lots of disappointment, not because of the things, but because of looking for myself in the things. So I kind of feel also disappointment because I didn't find myself in anything or anyone.
Yeah, but this is all comes from love. You know, even every act of search is search for yourself, it's search for love. Even when we experience difficulty, it also comes from love. But this love is quite, not wise, I would say. Because it thinks it's lacking something. So I have to fulfill myself outside. All the actions we are taking, even the crime actions, is also acts of search for love. Search for ease and peace. But once we discover it inside, more and more when discovered inside, we will see it's everywhere. All the world is made of love. But maybe not very conscious in some cases. But so what? The unconsciousness is given to get consciousness at some point. Why are we doing anything in this world? Why are we working? Why are we looking for partners? Why are we want to have a children? Or why we want to fulfill our destiny or to find the happiness? Why are we doing it? Any movement in this world is for the search of happiness, for the search of rest. And we try many things, and we find temporary rest. And that's why it's not satisfying, because it's just temporary, or not even that.
There is this rejection of the everything which doesn't feel right also. It feels it's another form of separation, because it's also not true somehow.
Yeah, but when you rest in yourself, when you stay patient with yourself, when you not follow too early with the thought, when you will not go with your mind assumption too early, when you rest with the primal and you survive some mind attacks, at some point you will not quarrel with the world, and you won't be judging yourself for going out, because you will see that there is no in and out. Everything is you. I'm you. Everything is you. I'm made from myself. There is only myself. There is nothing else. This seeming separation is just a thought. But first stabilize when you're seeing. Stabilize that you can trust this inside, that there is peace inside. And then you will see that the world and nothing can touch this peace. So not from here to there, but from there. Start there. And don't judge yourself if you go out sometimes, because it happens, you know? It happens. So it's not boring.
Sometimes fun.
So yeah, some entertainment we have, no? Sometimes it's fun. And how are you? You were asking me a question in the break yesterday. Yeah. Is it more clear this year? Yeah?
Jest bardziej jasne.
It's more clear.
Ja teraz rozumiem, o czym mówisz.
I understand now what you are talking
A
about.
kiedy tu znalazłam się w marcu,
When I was here in March,
bardzo chciałam tego słuchać, ale nie wiedziałam, o czym mówisz w ogóle.
wanted to
To
listen,
było
but
dla mnie zupełnie abstrakcyjne.
I didn't know what you were talking about. It was abstract for me.
Ale chłonęłam.
I get it.
A teraz rozumiem.
And now I
Może nie do końca, ale rozumiem
Not
coraz więcej.
entirely, but I understand more and more.
I właśnie te łzy, tak samo jak tutaj moi poprzedniczy, nie wiem dlaczego, ale się pojawiają po prostu.
Because you're coming home.
One nie są ani smutne, ani tylko po prostu są.
They are not sad or anything. They just are.
I to jest takie fajne.
It's so
Znaczy
nice.
fajne. A, żeby pozostać świadkiem, prawda?
To stay
Świadkiem
witness. Be witness.
zdarzeń, czy mojej osoby, nie wiem, czy to tak.
Things happening or myself.
Ponieważ być świadkiem jest właśnie daje tą wolność.
Being witness gives this freedom.
Daje tą wolność. I właśnie pozostać, jakby zachować tą, nie wiem, jak nazwać, ten stan właśnie
By staying in this state,
tego świadkowania, prawda? To
being
jest,
a witness.
to jest właśnie ta sztuka.
I think
Cokolwiek
this
to
is,
brzmi idyt.
this is the thing, and whatever I say, it sounds. That's it.
Także to chyba wszystko.
And I think that's all.
Thank you. So this first thing which we realize, this noticing that there is this witnessing place,
Zauważenie, że jest to
that we are able to witness, to live life from the perspective of witnessing.
życia właśnie z tej perspektywy
It's amazing.
jest świetne.
It's like a first
To tak jakby
glimpse of freedom for human beings.
już buduję wolności.
So this message that you can actually witness your life.
Właściwie możesz doświadczyć
You can witness your life. It's amazing gift. It's amazing thing for human being to live, because otherwise it's animal living. It's just an animal living. Otherwise, what that we have a mind, so what? But we are just automatically going with the senses and that's it. But to notice that this human being is able to witness itself, it's able to witness the behavior of the body, it's capable to witness the mind. This is freedom. So first to hear this message is already blessing. It's already grace to hear that this is possible. To experience this, it's again grace and blessing.
Ale ja mam nadzieję, że ja to teraz nie pojmuję tylko intelektualnie.
I mean, you can see it in yourself. Why are you crying? Why are you touched? Why something in you says, this is something amazing?
No tak, to nie jest intelektualne.
Do you have it? Do you have a feeling? Okay, I got it. It's not something what we can get like this. It's something more soft. It's like we have to be alert and let go to see its presence. So first you notice that there is a witness, but then sometimes you forget that witness exists. But does it mean it's ceased to exist? So imagine, okay, there is a period of our life, let's say satsang now, and you are able to witness. And then we go out and something happens and we don't experience witness. Does it mean the witness disappeared? Or we are not in tune with that because we are clouded with the mind and the focus is into the mind. Is it possible for witness to disappear actually? And then we understand this witness. Oh, I feel so good when this witnessing happens because I'm not so attached, I don't suffer so much and I don't struggle so much. So we feel this lightness and we want this lightness to expand. We want to feel like that non-stop. So what to do to have it non-stop? Because it's possible. Just put your attention there. As much as it's needed. And then you will notice that at some point it will be effortless non-stop. You will see that there is no escape from this witnessing. You will try to escape, but you will notice yourself escaping and you will say, oh my God, please, just please, I want to get rid of this awareness. I want to kill myself, but I'm not dying. Or any variation of that. So imagine that we are sitting here, there is a small group of people. Nowadays we can say that in the world there is more and more people who are familiar with this message. But imagine how many people there is outside who are completely not interested in that. So basically they are living like we were living before, just with the mind. And how hard is that? So are we better sitting here? We are not better. I feel sorry for people who are not having contact with this message because it has to be quite hard life when we are completely identified with body-mind. It's based on fear from death, it's based on just struggle and suffering for most of the time. And we hear here, there is a witnessing place. Already lighter. Look, you can witness your problem. Maybe they are not so true. Maybe they are true only for the mind, but not for yourself. Look, you are not the label. You are not the voice. You are witnessing all voices. And you are unaffected yourself. And the more we hear, the more we grasp it, the more ease comes and just happiness. For no reason, because we didn't get anything special, I didn't give you something, or it's not something you can get. It's something what you are already. So when we were children, we were told that to deserve for love, we have to behave a certain way. We were all taught. To get love from the parents, from the school or from where, we have to behave a certain way. And we tried to adjust. We did everything. But still we wanted full way because it was conditioned. But what if we are the source of love itself? What if we are source of that? What if we are source of everything? Can we be hungry if we are that? Do we have to search for anything if we are source of everything?
Szukać czegokolwiek, jeśli jesteśmy wszystkim.
And even before that.
Nawet wcześniej.
Even before any mental understanding could grasp anything.
Pierwszym
Before intellect was born. And isn't that amazing that human beings are capable to inquire these things?
cudowne, że ludzie potrafią
That we can inquire beyond consciousness even, beyond everything what can be known.
szukać poza świadomością, poza wszystkim, co tylko jest poznane.
And on the way we lose everything, but we gain everything. We gain peace and happiness.
Stracimy wszystko, wszystko zyskamy.
So this is also the moment to check
Więc to jest także moment, żeby sprawdzić.
when the senses are withdrawn within,
Te zmysły skierowane są do środka.
when naturally something sink in and dive deep. In this peace,
Ten spokój,
lack of happening,
brak dziania się.
check how you feel.
Sprawdź, jak się czujesz.
Is it dangerous?
Czy to niebezpieczne?
Is there something to be afraid of?
Czy to coś, czego można się bać?
Or is it something which is outside
Czy to coś, co jest na zewnątrz?
Or is it something what can be reached by mind?
Czy to coś, co może zostać osiągnięte przez umysł?
Or mind has to fall asleep?
Bo umysł musi zasnąć.
To give the space to something much, much greater.
Przestrzeń do czegoś znacznie większego.
Like a child knowing its parent. Like the source of all objects.
Jakby źródło wszystkich obiektów.
But if the source is not even interested in the objects,
Źródła nawet nie są zainteresowane obiektami.
it's just happy by itself, being itself. Being and knowing.
Cieszy się wtedy byciem sobą i byciem i wiedzą.
How does it feel like?
Jakie to uczucie?
Is it something personal?
Czy jest to coś osobistego?
Is it an achievement?
Czy to jakieś osiągnięcie?
Or it's quite opposite?
Czy jest
It's
to
like
czymś
leaving
zupełnie-
everything and being
To tak jakby zostawienie wszystkiego i po prostu bycie.
that what gave rise to everything. So if we recognize the world by the shadow,
Więc jeśli rozpoznajemy świat poprzez cień,
and the shadow will be the world and happening,
a cień byłby światem,
so what is the relation with the shadow with its source?
jaki jest związek
Just
cienia
feel
z
it and see it.
źródłem? Poczuj i zobacz.
Can the shadow satisfy you fully?
Czy cień jest w stanie cię usatysfakcjonować?
Go to the source.
Idź do źródła.
You are the source.
Jesteś źródłem.
And also notice that the shadow, if it exists,
Zauważ, że jeśli
it's really not a problem.
ten cień, jeśli istnieje, to tak naprawdę nie jest problemem.
It's a temporary truth.
To tylko tymczasowa prawda.
But you yourself are not temporary.
Ale ty sam sobie nie jesteś tymczasowy.
And now I'm not saying any philosophy right now. You can check it.
Możesz to sprawdzić.
So what actually would be confirmation of what I'm saying? Is it a sentence? What can confirm, oh yes, she's right, oh no, she's not right?
Czy on ma rację, czy nie ma racji?
Is the sentence an actual confirmation?
Czy zdanie jest właściwie potwierdzeniem?
Or that where the sentence leads to?
Albo to, gdzie zdanie cię prowadzi.
And see that everything
Zauważ, że
springs from yourself right now
wszystko zaczyna się w tobie.
and disappears in yourself.
Znika w tobie.
The body disappears in yourself
Ciało znika.
and disappears in yourself.
Pojawia się
Your own body
twoje własne ciało.
appears in yourself
Pojawia się w tobie.
and disappears in yourself.
Znika w tobie.
Or other bodies appear in yourself
Albo inne ciało pojawiają się w tobie.
and disappears in yourself.
Znikają w tobie.
This feeling inside of the body appears in yourself
To uczucie w środku twojego
and changes in yourself.
pojawia się w tobie.
But are you just a feeling
Zmienia się w tobie ludzie,
which is changing?
upływa ludzie?
Or you are a witness of all?
Czy jesteś świadkiem?
And sometimes in that point,
Czasem
the mind becomes very impatient or tries to
w tym momencie
cloud
umysł zaczyna działać
hearing of this message.
albo przyciąć
Just notice it.
słyszenie tej wiadomości.
It's okay.
Nic, wszystko jest w porządku.
Mind also has to see that there is nothing dangerous.
Zobacz, że nie ma w tym nic niebezpiecznego.
Notice that there is no
Zauważ, że
particular state you should be.
nie ma
Right now.
tego właściwego stanu, w którym powinnaś być.
There is no expectation of the state you should be right now.
Nie ma żadnego oczekiwania względem stanu, w jakim powinieneś być teraz.
You can feel peaceful, you can feel not peaceful, and it's fine.
Możesz czuć się spokojnie, możesz nie być spokojny, to też jest w porządku.
Just take it, these attitudes now.
Weź, przyjmij to podejście teraz.
Nothing is demanded from you.
Nic nie jest od ciebie wymagane.
You can demand from yourself only if you believe you are an object.
Możesz wymagać tylko od siebie, jeśli wierzysz, że jesteś obiektem.
And you have to be a certain way.
Nie musisz być.
You have to be good or nice.
Możesz być.
Or
Musisz
wise.
być dobry, miły, mądry.
But what if you are source of all?
Ale co jeśli tak nie jesteś?
Is it something exotic what I'm saying or is something familiar? Give me a feedback. Is it something exotic or it's
Czy jest to coś
not?
egzotycznego, czy nie?
I'm serious. It's familiar. Somebody feels it's
Czy ktoś czuje, że
quite far or cannot relate to this?
coś dalekie albo może się z tym zgodzić?
Is the silence comfortable or not comfortable? Huh?
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Somebody feels this silence. It's actually quite comfortable, but not really.
Całkiem komfortowo.
Huh? How are you? Yeah. Okay, both of you. How are you?
Okay, very relaxed. Not willing to talk, you know.
Good. But talking is same good. Yeah. And you?
Either you go like this or I go like
Yeah, the silence feels good. This empty space.
Do you feel that this is something known?
Please.
Do you feel it's something known? But, I mean, do you feel it's something familiar? Like, it's,
Yes.
yeah, something familiar.
Feels like home.
Yes. Good. And the mind doesn't disturb?
No.
Yeah. You see, when we really, what happens when we really put focus and importance on the source, like I said before, yesterday, I can't remember, that the silence is loud. It's loud and it speaks by itself. And like this mind, it's like almost hard to find it. It's like, I would like to say something, but what and how? But what we actually did to feel this way, we stepped out of the mind and we put focus, okay, who is aware of it? Where is all the world springs from? And you see, oh my God, it's here. I don't have to go to India. I don't have to avoid this anymore. And actually during the satsang, the silence is much more important than anything which we can say. At the beginning we don't understand that. We think it's about what we realized, or what came up, or what I went through. But the language is just for us to get to this silence which speaks by itself. And it can be that loud, then the mind cannot even sleep in. But when it sleeps in, it's good to also clarify it, because everything what is unconscious will frighten us. But if we make it conscious with our clarity, then it will not frighten us anymore. The thought you are not fully enlightened, fully, will not frighten us when it will be brought to the seeing. To the, okay, I'm not afraid of this thought. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Is any thought true, actually? It's just a label. But is the label the reality? No, it's not possible. It's just simply not possible. It seem. That's why when we say about the world, this is an illusion. Because it seem like this. But it doesn't mean it is like this. It just seems. So our thoughts seem true. They seem true. but it's not the truth. It's just an assumption to deal with what's happening. Like a weapon in the world. To protect ourselves, but we don't need to protect ourselves anymore. The self doesn't need the protection, doesn't need the skin because it doesn't have it even. Do we know in the silence where we dive there, do we know where we are? Or where we start? That do we have actually the feeling of the body? Can we say it is a bodily feeling? So it's a little bit different trust than science teaches us, because science teaches us, okay, if you don't see, don't trust. So you have to check with your eyes, but you check here. But now we are checking who is doing the checking. Who is the one doing the checking? And we see it's not visible. It cannot be visible. So we see we are not this, and we are not that. We cannot be this, we cannot be that. We cannot be any of the states. It's not that we are so great, it's just we can't be it only. On the surface, yes, but in reality. Today I'm the space, let's say. Was I space yesterday? If I take the space as a subtle feeling. Yesterday maybe I was very emotional about something. So can I trust this state? Can I rely on this, which is temporary, and call it myself? Can I call myself this body which is constantly changing? Can I call myself the thoughts which are constantly changing? Can I call it myself? And thus this organism has to protect this knowing. Like so for instance, we discovered this silence and we discovered that we are that in reality. Check if this needs really a protection. Do you have to keep it in a way? Or are you able actually to keep it? Are you able to hold this absolute? Is it possible? It might be very tiring. Or is this silence disagreeing with the body? Is it unhappy because you are doing something? Or you are free to do whatever you feel like? Or it gives you freedom actually? When I started experiencing that actually this body can be free, I could not believe it. It was like, it's almost not possible that I'm allowed to do anything. It felt very, very weird in the beginning. But then I realized that when I'm not using mind, this body can just function the way it wants. And I don't have to interfere with this. So I can still do things which I like and not do things which I don't like, but without the tension. I can still work, I can still study, I can still drink coffee or anything. Everything is okay. And please don't believe me. Just check everything. Really. Really, I'm not here for you to believe me in any of the words. Just check every of the words if it's true. I don't want to have people who are just, it's about freedom, It's about your freedom. So don't believe, just check. Check everything. Because there is a knowing inside. And if there is some disagreement or there is something which comes but you are afraid of or something, don't listen to it, just bring it on. For me, it's still fascinating. It's like totally fascinating that the people are interested in this. Really, that I'm meeting people here and there that they are interested in this. It's like completely fascinating, amazing. But we are inquiring these things instead of at the moment drinking beer, for instance, or shopping, that we are just questioning these things. I'm not saying that drinking beer or shopping is bad, but it's quite common way of spending time, no? But we are here coming and questioning the core beliefs. And when I'm saying these weird things, you are not disagreeing with me. That's quite amazing.
You don't expect it?
No, I mean, it's. I don't expect anything, but it's fascinating that there's really there are beings in the world who are keen of these things.
You want to listen to you.
Or not me, it's just who are keen to inquire. Because I remember myself being a child and I couldn't relate with people so much. Because this was like somehow like looking at the world this way was always present and I could not find many people around and I thought I'm crazy. Like a bit maybe, like something is not fully right there.
Same experience.
You too?
Kindergarten.
Yeah, I felt like they are missing something, or I am missing something.
Who is not okay, they or I?
Yes. And then when I discover satsang and I say, there are people also here. They are keen into these things. Wow, how great is that? And then I realize maybe I'm not that crazy. Well.
What is crazy? What is crazy?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like in a way against everything what was told for us, no? Against everything. So who is ready to question everything what was told and everything we can go out and see what's inviting us to perceive a different way. And how are you? Yes, you. Yes. Thank you, good. Thank you, I'm good.
It's a little too much for me for today. It's a little too much for me for today.
Meaning mentally it's too much, yeah? It's for the mind. So it feels tired, yeah? Yeah, I know this feeling. It's sometimes it can be like that when you try to understand with the mind, you know? Because the mind will also try to understand. So this is one level which is happening during the satsang. The mind tries to follow and try to understand. And there's so many contradicted things here, so many paradoxes that it might be challenging and might be tiring also. But this is sometimes like that, but it's not so important. Just what if you leave the way you feel right now with the mind? What if you stop trying to understand what is happening here? Or following even. Like we started in the morning. What if we really leave aside, attempt to understand this, attempt to follow this? Okay, can we try? So the understanding and following the words we leave aside. And just feel your body for a moment. Feel the sensation in the body. Because this is a very easy way to go out from the head to more close and intimate feeling. Just step out of the head and feel the feeling inside. Don't interpret this, just feel. You can close your eyes for a moment. And relax. Relax. There is nothing expected. Feel the vibration of the body. Feel the sensation of the body, this pure sensitivity. And leave the mind aside. It's not your helper at the moment. Feel the breath by being the breath. So to know how you feel right now, you don't have to go to your head. Because it would be secondary reality. To know how you feel yourself right now, you really don't have to go to your head to give it a label. Leave it. Just feel. See, this is direct and this is first. Go to this directness. And now if you notice some effort, just ease this effort. There's nothing expected. Nothing is waiting. Ease this effort. Just allow it to be the way it is now. And again, without going to the mind, without giving it a label, without the interpretation, just going directly to the feeling itself, check if you have the boundaries. Do you know something about separation? Just rely only on feeling sensation inside. Because the thought cannot actually approach this feeling. It can't. Leave the thought aside. And relax. If you feel the tension in the head right now, leave also this. If you need at some point to take a deeper breath, just do. Feel your hands for a second. The tingling in your hands, the vibration in your hands. Do you know it contains 5 fingers? Or just a pure sensation? Stay with this sensation only, with sensing. And now go to the belly. Without comment what's happening there, just feel it. Allow it. And now go to your pelvis. And feel the ground on the chair you sit on. Do you feel you are separate from this chair? Do you feel where the chair starts and you finish? Again, I'm not asking the mind. Mind knows nothing about it. Leave the mind just feel. And now also feel the space all around. Don't think about the space, just feel the space. Thinking about the space is not needed at all. Do you feel there is a space in you? Do you feel you as the body? Or what's happening inside actually, if we leave the mind, is a pure sensitivity, pure vibration. So every time the mind will take you on the journey to say what's happening, refuse. And just feel the beingness itself. Feel this primal reality. And rest. There is nothing expected. There is no super knowledge here. So usually mind tells us everything it knows about the surroundings. And we take it as the truth. But see now for yourself. How false is this? False means not accurate. So feel the feeling first. The beingness first. This is something more basic and more true, actually. And even if you notice that still mind was involved in this a little bit, it is fine, don't worry. Which is okay. The mind might be waiting for something. The mind might be waiting for some easiness. It's okay. Are you as awareness waiting? Really? Is the witness waiting? So open your eyes now. Was it possible to step out of the mind for a little bit? Hmm? Was it possible to like just leave this aside for a moment? Yes? So this tiredness, whenever you discover this tiredness, it means that either mind was involved or something was resisting a lot, which is actually both mind. So what is, I asked it before, but maybe someone would like to share it again. When we go to this state prior to the mind, when we actually feel first and we are this beingness first, do we know who we are there intellectually? Do we need something more? Do we need a mind approval there? Is it something lacking? Then mind comes and says something and put us on the journey or wants something else. And we sometimes we are not ignoring this mind and we are following it. So then we are doing other things. Thinking that we are body and mind. But this exercise which we did today, like 2 times already or 3, is for us to really check. Really check, because this checking changes our life. This checking of that was changing our life. How it is to live with the mind, with this core belief that I am the body and I am the mind, and how it is to investigate that and to live from that what we are saying and discovering. It's not discovering, but knowingly coming back. Because if we just find the answer on the question here without this checking, this answer won't be enough. If we find the answers, I'm really serious, it won't be enough just to have an answer. It has to be checked this way. So you can actually know it experientially because you checked it not with the mind, but with your being. How are you feeling? Yeah.
Speechless.
Good.
A lot of tiredness happening in a few weeks.
Tiredness?
Yes. Body. It's like an oasis coming here. Like a more and more contrast.
You experience.
Understanding is fully here in the mind. It's the body, I don't know. So the mind is a big weapon. This tiredness is a big weapon of the identity. Because the energy level is low. I feel like the mind is coming inactive again.
That you have no
Maybe
energy.
you
Yeah?
maybe it's trying to tell me maybe I'm dying soon and something like sickness coming and something.
Because you're that tired.
Yes.
Okay, but you know what? Because we are talking about it for quite a while. Already 1 year ago we were saying about it, and at the retreats we were talking about it also. But what if, because it's coming back, I'm just flirting with this idea, you know? I don't know, but I'm checking with you. What if you trust a little bit this feeling of tiredness and you give yourself a little bit rest physically?
But it's difficult to stepping out from this system. Yes, maybe this is
I know.
also coming.
I know.
Maybe life situation should change somehow.
I know, but maybe just, you know, you don't have to make a like, oh my god, quit the job and stop working and do like something like a big step. But maybe something from the inside is trying to tell you, you know, maybe try a little bit rest.
But it's so much blindness inside because I should somehow leave that. But I know it's a little bit fear.
Fear?
Yes, because
Fear of what?
going in the unknown, something.
You are fearing of unknown.
Yes, maybe it's also. But
So let's not generalize it because I cannot say anything about what is general. So at the moment you are fearing something?
no.
So how do you know that you fear of something?
It's difficult to express myself in English, but
So our unconscious stuff is like a ghost, you know? So many of us has some unconscious stuff inside.
Mhm.
And it feels like a ghost. So first we don't want to show it. We don't want to clarify it for ourselves. And it seems quite real. So now you are saying to me about the fear, but so it's a calling for self-inquiry actually. Because you are not able to say something about it. And I want you to say something about it actually. I want you to bring it to the light, to bring it to the sun, just to see what it is. Because when maybe you will see what it is, it won't be a ghost anymore. It will be just something maybe very simple. So the question is, what are you fearing?
so one is I try to open myself as much as possible in every satsang. But on the other side, I experienced in the last 10, 12 years just blankness in the mind. Just seems like I stuck in the emptiness. Just the blankness in the mind, and it's not too much fault.
At the moment,
Activity. On the
okay,
moment.
at the moment you feel it also, this stuckness in emptiness?
I can't talk too much about it because it's just the raw energies. And in the emptiness in the mind, it feels like it's the last 10 years. Maybe it's some kind of control in the mind level also.
Okay, so
But
I'm the surgeon,
it's
okay?
not too much thought about this.
Okay, but I want the thoughts actually. Let's do the surgery. Let's really do the surgery.
Maybe
I'm
hiding, systemically hiding something under the.
Okay, let's see what it is. Because when it's unconscious, when you say 10 years, when you say, oh, so long, it seems like this ghost is growing. But,
Yes.
but let's see if this is so. So you say this dark emptiness, this empty something. Do you feel it right now?
Yes, but on the inquiry, it feels like it's an emptiness, but the system is afraid to let it into this void deeper inside. So it's like a less safety island, and around it is a big ocean of consciousness.
So this void
Yes.
is little. Okay, so feel it. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. Does this blankness and this thing has something to say or express?
Just blankness, and I feel my heart beating and bodily energies. So
Okay, it's okay.
that's it.
Okay.
But it's not raw fears or something.
So, and you feel this blankness stops you from something?
Feels like I can't go deeper. Just I feel this blankness, and there is something more. I'm
Okay,
sure.
open your eyes, okay? So this blankness, this thing in the chest, as you said, it's an object, no?
Yes, still, yeah.
It's an object. You want this to go away? Or it can be here?
Can you?
It's you already allow it to be here. That's fine. So, for instance, I have like my knee broken, let's say, at the moment, and it is broken. So it is right now. What's the problem with this? What's the problem of this blankness? You give it more energy the more you talk about it. You know,
Yes.
I have the feeling that this blankness, every time you say about it, it's like a small thing. But when you talk, you go to this 10 years and you said this retreat and this, and it's like bigger and bigger. It's like a balloon which you give the more air, more air.
I don't want it to talk about it, but
It's our habit, you know, we all have our life motifs, you know. I have, you know, some mine.
But on the other side, I should observe it somehow, because
You can laugh at it, you know. Okay, so the more I'm talking about it, the more bigger it becomes. But where is this blackness right now? Do you feel it? This is the way. Mind is a drug, really. Mind is the best drug ever. It takes us for such a good trips. I mean, good.
but you feel it somehow. I'm sure.
Yes.
Is it because it's
Yes,
difficult to
I
express
feel
myself in English.
Yes, I feel it, but the more you go back to the story, to the memory of it, to the start, the more you go to it, the bigger it seems. But once you agree with that, you stop resisting that. You will see that it's almost non-existent. It's nothing. It's like I would be really angry, let's say, that this couch is here. Can I be angry for something which is on the surface? Can we be angry for anything what's happening in the consciousness? What is angry about it? What is not accepting this? It's only the mind. It's always only the mind. And the more you think about it, the bigger story you give it to it, the ghost is becoming bigger and bigger. So it's really about to stepping out of it. Because when you won't be concentrating on the tiredness, you may notice that actually you are not that tired. Because the tiredness is also a habit of the mind, you know? Or, you know what is also a habit of the mind? Oh my goodness, I'm so busy, really, I'm doing everything myself. I'm really tired of this. Nobody helps me. I should have a helper. It is also a habit of the mind. We have this kind of comments, and it's a drug. it's immediately brings us to the state, and the state is feeling discomfort. You know, this mind takes us to the state. So at first this very innocent thought arises. This is, let's say, a thought. Very innocent at the beginning. I mean, let's say it is, you are not yet there. At the beginning, you are not yet there. And it's almost nothing. And it didn't take you for a journey yet. But then you look at it, this thought, and gradually it grows. It's like, you are not yet there. Really, you see, she's there. He's there. Everybody's enlightened. You are still doing this, let's say. And slowly, the journey starts. The drug starts working. You started feeling bad. You feel unworthy. You feel the last one to get it. You started like it covers all your state, and these thoughts are really drugs because they bring us into this kind of state of discomfort. So how to quit this? Can I say to myself, oh, actually you don't feel bad, you feel good? Does it work? No, it doesn't work. So what can we do? We have to just quit this drug. But what was this drug? The thought, which took us on a journey. Oh, you are so tired? I'm telling you, why you're so tired for 10 years still? Come on.
Yes, but the life is challenging heavily on the
Of course. Why not?
This is the test. The testing is. And I go out. This is probably, it's not easy. This is the test, but it's perfect.
Yeah, but meaning, yes, okay, it's test, but are you getting what it's trying to say to you? I know it's a test, but it will be testing you until you get it. This one.
But, something is afraid until I die.
Of course you will die, aren't you? Of course.
Before the freedom.
So now I know what is actually the fear is. This is a fear of death. The behind it is a fear of death. Behind this is a fear of death.
And lost control.
And lose the control, yes. Yeah, but it's for us just to see it. You don't have to do anything about it. You just see, okay, there is a fear about it. There is a fear to lose control. But we cannot stop control using the control, no? Yeah. We cannot stop the mind using the mind. So we cannot say stop. It will not listen. You can stop and he will fight you back. It's just a rule, no? I will tell you what to do, he will tell me what I should do. So we cannot help with the mind, we cannot help with the wish to change. We cannot help even with our idea how it is supposed to be, how relaxed I should be at work, for instance. How good my work should be. Should it be anyway? Is there any way, any special way or any good way to go life through? Sometimes it's like that, maybe.
You know, this body-mind experience before, like it was like a heaven. And this is the reason why I'm here, because I know the contrast between the heaven and the hell, and this gap is.
Okay, until you believe in heaven and
I so much
hell.
love to be here, really, and every satsang, because
yeah, it's right. I mean, you are stepping out of it. Yeah, but what is this heaven? What is it really a heaven if you have to keep it like strong?
No.
Is it really a heaven?
No.
So see that this heaven is not a real heaven. The heaven is like when you step out and see everything happening inside of you.
Yes.
And actually here at Satsang, this is it. Because immediately you see, okay, this is just a mind talk. It's not so important. So with this tiredness, every time it speaks to you. You know, we really, every one of us has this. Its core leitmotif. We have it. So for your last 10 years is this. For many women, for instance, is I'm working so much. I'm so tired. It's everything on my head. I do this, I do that, and this and that. Come on, it can't be like this. We have all our leitmotifs. Just when it arises, you be there to see it. And you see if you want to be taken for the trip, if you want to go for this drag, because you already know how it feels. It feels quite heavy and quite tired. And you can immediately step out of it.
So thankful.
Time. So, just for the end, like, so what are drugs are you using? What are your core drugs? Which takes you for the biggest trip with the mind?
Can I share something?
Yes.
I don't have any anymore because I don't believe in the mind at all. Anything that the mind tells me, I don't believe it. And if I don't believe it, it disappears the same second as it appeared.
Yes.
And this is freedom. And I realized that I believed before the mind. And then I took it into experience. And something very important, we've got the free will of attention. And what I put the attention on is my experience.
Exactly.
It's so simple. So if you put the attention on suffer, pain, guilt, fear, angriness, what do you have?
You experience
Suffer,
that?
pain, guilt, fear, angriness. It's so simple. I'm putting my attention on calmness, silence, stillness, peace. What do I have? Calmness, silence, stillness, peace. And it's like a miracle. And it's that simple.
And yes.
Nothing else.
Yes.
You decide what your experience is. And the thing is, I realized, because I had this mind problems as well, and they're old. And the older they are, the stronger they are. And the easier we grab it again. For many years I had, because I was living on my own and I was dreaming about a relationship and this was painful. It's not painful anymore. It's the same to have a relationship or not. That is not a difference. And that's it. It's that simple.
For your case.
For everyone.
Yes.
Stop nurturing it. You
I
nurture
agree,
it.
I totally agree with you, but
Yes.
you know, I don't know.
It needs practice.
I don't know if this happens or I'm doing it.
You do it.
Because I don't doing it, it's happening. And it's happening with me like this. Maybe in the next 5 years.
You know why you do it?
Or till tomorrow, I don't know. But I am on it. I just can't do this.
You do it because
And
you
this is a process. For me, it's a process. And I'm in it.
But you know what? I completely relate to what you were saying, but you get it when you get it.
Right, I understand.
You
Okay.
get it when you
I
get it,
understand.
you know.
Yes. It took a long time.
Yes, when
Yes.
when you
In my
get it
case
when you
as
get
well.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
but what he's saying is true.
Yes, yeah, totally.
It's
Thank you.
it's true.
Yes. It's very simple.
When you get it.
Yeah.
I can't lie for myself, you know, on the other side.
What?
I can't lie for myself on the other side, you know, because truth is in every moment is possible, for sure. It's a mental knowing. But in the conditioning in the body, I can't lie for this. Because it's still heaviness pulling me down somehow, time to time, still. And when I'm belly on this, I am in the hell. When I can look it from the outside and not identification, this is the key, yes, I know. But life situation is still challenging me and showing me to be honest to myself.
To be honest, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, like Nisargadatta says that not only him, but if the awakening and this full awakening is our first desire, is our first priority, if it's our first, it has to become our reality. It's a rule. It has to become our reality. And it will.
Yeah.
And it will be full, complete. If it's our first priority. And also, the same way as he said, if our desire will be little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of we will experience this also. We will experience this. So we can inquire also on ourselves. What do I really want? What do I really want in myself? If I want to have a relationship, I will test relationship first. It's that this doesn't lie, because what your attention is, the world will give you this back. So you will try it. You will sit. If your desire, the real desire is a traveling, tasting this, tasting that, you will do it. But if your first and true, like, big desire is just to know yourself, to know the truth, it has to happen. It really has to happen. And it will. And all of you are here. It means that you are quite familiar with the subject. It means that there is some resonance with that. And sooner or later it just will be fully grasped, fully. Now you might have like experiencing yes and no, but it's coming. There will be awakening and deliverance, full deliverance of that. Which is peace, which is contentment, which is freedom, which is agreement with what happens. That's why it's so important to really find what my wish really is. Because this will become your reality. That's why also during the satsang it's important, it's not to sleep, it's important to just check what I really want, what brought me here, what is still unsolved there, what is putting me aside, and just, okay, let's bring it on. Let's bring it on, why not? Because it's about the freedom, about the clarity, and it's about the truth.
For me, this satsang now, it's the first time that there is, because we spoke about tiredness, but parts of it, I was so tired that I wanted to bring it up earlier, but I could not. Something was really, and still it's still present, but not so much anymore. But like clouding.
But do you have the sense what it is? Like this tiredness, where is it coming from? Like just try to stay with it a bit longer and see if you can find any thought behind it. Because usually, I mean, the tiredness does not happen by itself only. It usually something is behind it. Either the body is tired because it wasn't sleeping or something like that, or sometimes there is a thought behind it, or some resistance, and thought is a resistance, and you can see what it is.
Yes, I'm looking. I just try to bring it up,
Yes.
but I cannot identify.
A thought.
No, it's such a tiredness that will, if it's the body, that will come if there was no sleep the whole night, maybe at this time to feel like this, but it's not the absence of sleep.
Okay, so just go back to yourself, to this tiredness. Just feel this tiredness. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Sometimes the body can be like this during satsang. It's really okay. There's a lot happening here. A lot, really a lot. So it might be also from that, but to make it sure, check if there is something behind it. You know, for instance, I was tired during satsang. When I noticed tiredness in myself, I'm not saying it's your case, but I remember from my life. Sometimes I was very tired, and I didn't know why actually. And then I noticed that there was some resistance towards something what was happening there, like mental resistance. For instance, I was listening, but I was commenting what I'm listening, or there was in me idea what I know. And this tiredness was because of this idea what I know. And I was actually listening with the mind because I was comparing what I know with what is being said. So I was always like very involved.
It's right now like coming so strong that I almost cannot keep the eyes open. It's getting hard to follow the words.
It's okay. You consciously cannot find any thought behind it, no? Okay, it's fine. You know, there are teachers who prescribes to students to listen to the same satsang the same day 3 times. Because we are not able to hear it, 3 times you have to listen to the same satsang. So you are at the satsang, then you go home, and 2 more times you have to listen to the same, and you're like, the mind is going crazy completely.
Yeah, but no, I did listen sometimes online to the same satsang, and then I was surprised that
you didn't hear it before.
Yes. So what is
Yeah, so the same, like somebody says to me, I'm like following the satsang for a couple of years, and listening. And at some point, somebody comes to me and says, "Wow, you said such a good satsang. You know, you did it first time like this. It was amazing. You said, I'm not the body." What can I say, you know? He said, I'm not the body. Yeah, like, thank you, this was amazing. Like, you are really growing, you know? Really growing. Like, yes. Well, I'm repeating this over and over again, non-stop. Okay, so we will make a break. Thank you for the satsang, thank you for your presence, for your being, for the sharing. We are all here learning something, and we all already know something. So tomorrow we continue. What time? Same time?
11.
11. Tomorrow we continue. We will do some meditation also, and then sharing like today. And let's see if we're tired or we are not tired. Yes. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like the flower, no? Today it's like this, tomorrow it will be a little bit different. Tiredness can be here, it's fine.